It's time to start accomplishing all that you have long desired yet appeared impossible. Get Open Heaven's video and audio teachings today and grow the personal conviction and commitment that overcomes every obstacle.
Welcome to Your Future World Today, a podcast which not only projects into your desired future greatness, but also helps you to discover your limitless potential to start and sustain your greatness pursuit, and regardless of whatever difficulties or limitations you may encounter. My name is Brother Paxton. Our presentation theme today is, can any head teaching knowledge be really valueless? Can any head teaching knowledge be really valueless? Have you ever wondered how even the most well-educated or well-trained people are not necessarily the most successful and can even be amongst the worst failures, whilst those with far much less education or training can become the most successful? I also wondered and asked myself, can any head teaching knowledge be really valueless? And that was immediately after I read Hebrews 4 verses 1 to 16, whose summary is as per verses 1 to 3 as follows. Because the promise of entering his rest still stands, let us be careful so that none of us be found to have fallen short of it. For we also have heard the good news proclaimed to us, just as they did, but the message they heard was of no value to them, because they did not mix the message with faith. Hence God said, so I declared an oath in my anger, they shall never enter my rest. Given the context that biblical Israel, passing through the wilderness from its Egyptian slavery, was for not only facilitating God's Deuteronomy 8 verses 1 to 4, teaching the Israelis in readiness for their entering their purposed prospering rulership or leadership inheritance, but was also a foreshadow of the same necessary teaching or discipleship that every person has to undergo if one is to take one's life from the enslavement of lacking into the freedom of manifesting. The Genesis 1 verses 26 to 28 or Jeremiah 29 verse 11. All people created for prospering rulership or leadership inheritance. What becomes clearer is that the good news message referred to in the Hebrews quote above is the wilderness leadership discipleship or training which God gave and considered to be fully adequate for enabling all the Israelis to enter their purposed prospering rulership or leadership inheritance, and more so considering that God's teachings were reinforced by all his awesome and boundless power, demonstrating miracles which God performed throughout his wilderness walk with the Israelis. However, and despite all Israelis receiving this supposed to be highly effective wilderness leadership training, in addition to God's consistent assurances of the Israelis being consequently able to enter their purposed rulership or leadership inheritance, all approximately 600,000 Israeli elders except Joshua and Caleb had to perish in the wilderness after their failing to cross over for entering their purposed rulership or leadership inheritance. And only because of their Numbers 13 from verse 1 to 14, verse 35, contemptuous to God, unbelief, or lack of faith, in their being able to confront and overcome whatever enemy giants stood against their entering their God-purposed rulership or leadership inheritance. And it is this contemptuous to God lack of faith which nullified the effectiveness of all their God-given wilderness leadership training. In the same way, any person's lack of faith nullifies the effectiveness of any of one's received teaching knowledge. Accordingly, and indeed yes, any of your received teaching knowledge can be valueless, and consequent to your not having the faith to apply the taught knowledge in the pursuit of its taught for objectives. For your growing the high-value faith-driven knowledge, for conceiving and pursuing whatever your desired higher visions or aspirations, visit our website www.openheavenstransformationleadershiptraining.com.